Hello? Hello? There's always this moment when you start and you think you've made yourself live and you're like, am I? Am I live? Can you all see me? Can you hear me? Is there music? Is there visuals? I have no idea. I'm just gonna keep chatting and hope. Hope, hope, hope. How is everyone? It is a new year. It is 2024. Aha! We're not even a week in. Ah. Yes. Tell me, how have you all been? What have you all been doing? What have you all been reading? Reading anything good? Reading anything bad? I'll take bad as well, with my questionable taste. Well, you'll see all about my questionable tastes shortly during this stream. Because we've got a lot to go through, and I have opinions. I have strong opinions. Some good, some bad. Some that I'm fairly positive are just me. I see beans in chat. Aha, beans. Oh, there is nothing better than beans. I love beans. So happy with beans. My hair's a bit lion maney today. It's a bit frizzy. I'm not really sure why. I haven't done anything different to what I usually do. But it is quite a mess today. So forgive that. If I tie it up, it just goes whoop, which is almost worse. Maybe. So, yes, what have you been reading? Pokemon Adventures? Ooh! That is such a chill read, Pokemon Adventures. I need to read more of my Pokemon Adventures. Ooh, Akane Banashi. That is one of my reads from last year. What do you think about it? I'll say all about what I think shortly. Wait, I don't need to tell you now. You'll see. You'll hear. What day is it? Saturday. I had a bit of a headache earlier, so I was like just lying down in the dark going, headache go away, headache go away. So like when I'm streaming, I don't feel headachy. What else has I been reading? Yakuza. I want to read the cat one so bad. So bad. Ready to see Villainess, love? I read more Villainess last year than I realized. As I was like getting all of the images of the covers for the volumes. There was just, I was like, ooh, that's quite a lot of Villainess. I'm not that surprised. Well, actually, I know I was surprised. I'm hoping this year there's going to be even more Villainess. Christmas tree still up? Yeah, Christmas tree stays up till a good way through January in this household. My dad messaged me yesterday saying it's 12th day. I mean, you just need to take it all down. Like, no. What I usually do is I start to take it down. I start taking some of Christmas down around now-ish. But I mean, it takes a while. It takes a while. So I usually start to take it down and then finish by the end of January. Because I love Christmas decorations. I love it so much. And my birthday's at the end of January, so I always keep some up by my birthday. It's a secret naughty thing that I do. But it makes me happy. And it doesn't cause anyone else harm. Except maybe Ben. But poor Ben. My sister's birthday is early February. So the deal is I have to have it all down before her birthday. I usually do that. There's like 2 weeks. 2 and a bit weeks between our birthdays, so that's usually very easily doable. Ooh. Does anyone have any stats on what they read last year? So like how many volumes you read, how many new volumes you read, how many volume 1s you read, and all that? Because we'll be doing a lot of like, well, it's kind of what we're doing today. We're going to go through all the volume 1s I read in 2023. But I'm interested to see if anyone else happens to know how many volume 1s they read in 2023, if they know how many volumes they read in 2023 at all. That sort of deal, Rooney, if you happen to know. It's the cat tree. You know what? I was really surprised. This last year, the cats, mainly Mika, would not stop going up the tree. She'd go up and then just settle, like, halfway up the tree. Whereas this year, they've not as much. Yuna tried her best. Bless Yuna. She tried her best to climb up it a bunch last year, but she just kept falling down. Whereas Mika did it, like, a couple of times early December, but I think one of the times she kind of like got stuck and dangled and was like trying to grab onto the fairy lights to hold on, and I think it spooked her a little, and she's not gone up since, which is slightly a good thing, I guess. They've not really gone up it, but I mean, they're fairly decent cats in that they don't really tend to try and climb things, but I don't know if it's because they don't want to, or they're just a bit shit. Because Yuna will very often fall off trying to climb onto the bed. She'll try and jump up, slip, and fall on her back. You know cats land on their feet. Yuna doesn't. She lands belly up. She's a weird cat. They are both in the tree. What Yuna is in the basket. That, like, deep crevice. And then on the bed at the top, Mika's on there. But she's like, right, pushed back at the back. I don't know if you'd be able to see her. Read 16. That's still good. Any reading is good reading. I do hope, and I say this around my hauls as well. Like, the amount that I buy and the amount I read, don't compare yourself to that. I have a problem. The amount that I buy and read is a lot. Absolutely, please do not compare yourself to me at all in the slightest. Any reading is good reading. All reading is good. All manga collections are beautiful. You read a lot of volume 1s. Kitsune, I think you only read volume 1s last year. Like, every like, here's what I'm currently reading, it was a volume 1, and every time you were like, if I don't like it, I'll get rid of it, and then every time you were like, I loved it. I loved it. I'm keeping all of these volume 1s. I can't wait to see your volume 1 collection. That's what I'm waiting to see. I mean, I can vaguely relate. I'm really bad at picking up volume 1s. Really bad, which is why I've really enjoyed trying to read a whole bunch. Because I'm with you. The problem is, volume 1s are always so much fun. And it's the same with, like, Isekai series. Volume 1s of Isekai are usually pretty good. And then as soon as they try to continue the trope past a volume 1, it gets boring or really, really bad or shit. But, like, for just the volume 1, it's usually pretty good. So I am completely on your side. Which, I don't know who that reflects more poorly on. I don't know. You didn't keep tracks? I know a lot of people use Goodreads to keep track of what they read. I know I have my spreadsheet because I am stuck in my ways. I like my way and I like being in control of my data, but I understand it is more effort to keep up to date and more weird and faffy. Ben uses Goodreads to track his light novels and any of the books that don't have pictures in. He tracks in Goodreads. I think a lot of people here track with Goodreads. What else is there? Bookshelf? And that can also help you track your collection. What else do people use? What else do people use to track what they've been reading besides Goodreads and potentially? What was the other one I said? Bookshelf. I mean, yeah. So I like my spreadsheet, but I'm not sure I would recommend it to most people to try and track it that way, unless you're a weird spreadsheet aficionado like myself who has a spreadsheet problem and it's like, will do anything I can to use my spreadsheet. I use my spreadsheet for everything nowadays. I've started using it to track, like, I use it to track my videos. I use it to track, like, my work to do, my to-do list for work stuff I need to do. I use it to track meal plans, I think ish, kind of. What else do I use it to track? things I'm trying to gather when I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV, I'll use my spreadsheet. All my manga spreadsheet, it's just, I keep adding tabs. My main personal manga spreadsheet has like 50 tabs across the bottom. The public one, which I do need to update, only has like 6. The actual manga themed ones. My personal one is just a mess. An absolute mess. But sometimes it's just what works for you. And for me, I just love spreadsheets. I think what I also like is I can still use it fairly easily offline and on phone or whatever, so I can just do it all offline and wait till I have a signal and I can then upload it again. I like that. So yeah, just whatever works for you. I went on a really weird random tangent then, didn't I? At the end of the day, spreadsheets are wonderful, and I need to do some more work on mine and update the public one. I should do an updated video on my spreadsheet, because I did a live stream, but I'm not sure many people want to sit through a 3-hour live stream for me to walk through my spreadsheet. I need to do another shorter video, because that one I did was like 2-3 years ago, and that's out of date. Very out of date. It got quite out of date quite quickly. Half of what I do is different, or I've got new columns, and I've got new stats and stuff. Yeah, quite different. Right. So, plan for today. So, in 2023, I read 166 volume 1s. I nearly said I read 166 volumes, but that's not true. I read 166 volume 1s, and last year I did my top 10 best and worst reads of the year for 2022, but this year I thought, why not tier list all of them? To be fair, actually, I'm still going to do a top 10 best and worst reads, because once again, not everyone wants to sit through the live streams. You might want a more compact, and they might not be bothered about the stuff in the middle that was like meh. So today we're just going to do all of it. Actually, no, that is not quite true. Of the 166 volume 1s that I read in 2023, I am not going to tier list 6 of them. I am not going to tier list the 6 Faku volumes that I read in 2023, because I feel like for me to explain where I'm tier listing a Faku volume, I won't be able to, because this is YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like that. So it would be kind of like, here's a very blurry cover that you can't look at properly, and it's going in this tier, and I can't tell you why. So just to keep it a bit more, I say that there is like steamship and stuff in here, but I feel like none of it is quite the same as Faku. So no Faku. So we do have exactly 160 titles to go through this evening. Oh my god. I'm sure this will be fine. This will be fine. Maybe. I'm slightly daunted. Ish. I'm sure I'll get through it. Let me now swap over, I think. Hello, should be able to see my screen now. So, we are using tiermaker.com. You have 2 types of tier list you can make. You make a single use, or you can make a public one. I'm not sure. I don't see necessarily why I'd want to make a public one, unless some of you want to try and tier list. If you had read some of the same stuff that I did, maybe. But otherwise, we're just going to do a single use one. So this is all 160 volumes that I read in 2023. It's really, I was looking going, when I scroll through it, it doesn't look that many. Is it hell? It is still a lot of volumes. I don't know. I'm like, oh, that's not that many. I went through gathering all of these volume covers. By the way, what I did was I just went through Amazon. It felt like it was the most reliable, consistent place to get a nice quality volume picture of the cover. Because otherwise I kept getting a mix of like not English covers, or they were like this size and they were dinky and appalling quality. So yeah, I ended up just going through Amazon. There was only like weirdly there were only 3 titles that I could not find on Amazon. Which was it off the top of my head? I think it was Last Gender Volume 1. I couldn't find on Amazon. I Become an Omega Today, and Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock was really weird. I was really surprised I could not find that. Now, maybe it's just me. I wasn't particularly putting a large amount of time into finding these because I had to find 160. I was like, so then I ended up going on Scifier to try and rip images off that instead. But yeah, that's in case anyone is interested where I ripped these from. They're from Amazon. I went in, save image. Yeah. Yes, there's probably a faster way, but it was actually oddly kind of therapeutic in some way. Fuck, it was wholesome. maybe one. Maybe 1 or 2, potentially. Not ones that I've read. I'm not sure. Unless you count Kuma, because I did read a Kuma, which is an imprint of Faku-ish. And there was one that I read of that I did actually think was vaguely wholesome. Beans going in S. Oh, well, you're gonna have to find out. You don't know if Beans is gonna go in S. We don't know that. It might. It could, potentially. But we don't know that. Maybe. I love Beans. Looking forward to see what gets D rank. Right, so this is my next step. So I don't know if this is controversial or not, but it's my tier list. So often I find this is going to sound wrong, and I don't mean it the way it's going to come across. I'm fairly easy when I read. I'm very easy to enjoy something. So I think we're going to faff with these tiers a little. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another tier. How do I add another tier? Do I do that? No. How do I add a tier? Add row below. I'm just blind. Never mind. Add row below. Oh no, I've added 2 rows. Oh, I feel so inept. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have C be the fine tier. So what I mean by fine is I read it and it was fine. It was okay. It wasn't outstanding, but I don't regret spending the time to read it, I guess. B is liked it. To say liked. A is loved. S is is what do I call it? What was I trying to say? Above all else will die for these series. If I can type. Okay. D is didn't like. And new and improved E. Now, hate is a strong word. Do I use hate? Is that my hate tier? Very didn't like. There we go. No hate words, just very didn't like. We're also going to change some of these colours because why would I want the best tiers to be like the angry red? Bottom tier can be red, orange. That could be yellow. Colour can you be? Blue? That's a nice blue. That's a surprisingly nice blue. What colour can you be? Ooh. Let's go with that one. Don't click the link. I don't want the ad. Ugh. Wait, you're not blue. There we go. Okay. There we go. That looks a little better. Actually, I think this might look better if I flip it around. I've just realised I made a rainbow. That was not intentional. I was like, that looks really nice and uniform. Yes. Richard of York gave battle. Yep, that is a rainbow. Ah, you know what? That was not intentional, but I'm so happy. Ah, we can stop now. That was excellent. Right. Okay, so this is the rank system, and this is what I mean by it. Where E is really did not like this. D is nah, not for me, didn't like it. C was okay, not the worst, not the best, it was fine. It was definitely a read. B, I liked it. It was good. It was like I liked it. A, I loved it. It was great, excellent. Would recommend. S, I will die and make sure all of you read this series before you die. It's amazing. I will fight for this series. There is potentially 1 or 2 series you might be able to place there without my telling you. I thought might be neat is if you've read when we get to the series, if you've read the series, you can put in the letter that you would place it. So for example, got Jungle Juice first. If you read Jungle Juice, you could put whichever letter you would put it in, and then we can see what everyone's consensus is. I'm looking forward to that a lot. So do throw letters in chat if you've read it and have an opinion. Don't feel you have to if you don't want to. It's just all a bit of fun. Which then leads on to the next comment before we really get into it. Please don't take any offense or anything personally. Everyone has differing opinions. There's going to be series that I really didn't like, but you might love. Series that you really didn't like and I might love, and that is completely okay. It's just everyone has different opinions. Don't take it to heart, anything I say. It's all just fun. It's just opinions. It's all just books. We're just having a nice time. Yeah. So if there's a series and it's like your favorite thing ever, and I'm like, ugh, I hated it. It's not me saying please don't get. I mean, I say please don't get upset. You might, but don't take anything personally. Is what I'm trying to. Yeah, I find it really hard when I'm doing like negative things. So I did 1 hour for a while. Like, should I do this? Because there are some where I'm like, but if you end up having some issues with me, at me in the Discord, and we can talk it out. But yeah, it'll all be fine. All be fine. Best get a glass of wine before kickoff. If I hadn't had a headache and I had to take painkillers, I would have probably joined you. Maybe next time. Next live stream. I'm going to be doing a live stream actually quite soon. When am I doing one next? In a couple of weeks, I think. Yes, a couple of weeks, because it is my birthday and towards the end of the month, and I'm going to do a live stream before that. What am I doing during that live stream? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Probably games or something. I downloaded a couple of really neat games, so maybe that. Or maybe we'll just do a room tour, or just a cat cam and I'll point the camera at the cats. I don't know. We'll do something. Or I'll do more organisation. Talk about spreadsheets. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a poll, see what people want to do in that stream. Anywho, as always, if you are not in the Discord, join the Discord, because I keep more up to date and tracking of live streams and events and all those kind of jams in there way ahead of putting them on YouTube, because I don't like to set up a stream too early on YouTube. I tend to only set it up a few days before I do the stream, whereas I plan ahead on Discord like a few months in advance. I think I've put a live stream I'm doing in March, I've put in the Discord. I can't do any in February, unfortunately, just because there's so many birthdays. My sister has a birthday, my dad has a birthday, Ben has a birthday, so it just works out. There really isn't much like spare like weekend time. Right, I have once again, I keep wibbling. One of the points of starting a bit earlier was I thought this was going to take a really long time, and so far I've just used all this time to wibble at you. Well, I suppose we've managed to set it up, and we've made our rainbow, which I am absolutely so happy with. So happy we got rainbow. Not intentional, but that does make it even better. Right, first off, we have Jungle Juice. So, Jungle Juice, if you're not aware, is a new series put out by Isekai Press, and it is a volume that was given to me by Yen Press. So something I am also aware of is this year I got a whole lot of manga from Yen Press. I think I worked out it's like 50-ish volumes, which is completely insane considering how many of them especially were Isekai Press volumes, and I'm very, very super grateful for it. What I do feel, I try to put the effort in, if I've received 3 volumes, to read them, and read them quickly, because, I mean, they've sent them for free, and I'll talk about them. Now, in case anyone's interested, Yen Press, Isekai Press, they don't ask you to do any content about it, they ask for an address, and they just send a box every few months. They don't even tell you in advance when they're sending the box. I think one time I got a notification saying, you're getting a parcel tomorrow, and I'm like, am I? But otherwise, it would just turn up, and there'd be a Yen Press sticker on it. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But I think also, it can get tricky when you get free stuff to be able to say potentially not nice things. Well, no, not nice. I don't want to just be positive about it because it's free. I want to read it and say what I think about it. So there are some that I have gotten from Yen Isekai Press, the presses, I'm not sure, where I did really like them. Genuinely, Isekai Press last year I absolutely adored, apart from 1 or 2, which we'll get to. But there are still ones I didn't enjoy, and I will be honest about them. So if there's going to be some Yen Press we'll go through, and I'm going to sing their praises, and I just want to say, it isn't just because I got it for free. it helps, but no, there are ones I've gotten for free that I also really didn't like, and you'll see which ones those are. But in the interest of transparency, I did get Jungle Juice for free. I very, very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be really creepy because I'm not big on bugs, but I think the art style is absolutely gorgeous. I think the it's kind of like watercolory style, and when they're walking around the center, the school, and you see all the different types of bug people, I was just kind of astounded at how nice and pretty it was. So yeah, I was just surprised, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm actually going to put that in A tier. Already in an A tier. But I definitely would recommend. That is a good Isekai Press. The problem is, I enjoyed so many Isekai Press, even though I loved it. It's still probably going to be middle to bottom half of my Isekai Press tier list. Which isn't a bad reflection on that. It's just I think Isekai Press really did I'm so happy. It's just so good. Especially someone who only reads physical English print, getting all this manhwa stuff that is only previously been online, and I just don't tend to read online. Not unlike a preachy, I will never touch digital. I just don't have the time to do physical and digital. So if I just stick to one, I can help myself a little bit. But now getting them all in English print as well, and they're all just so good. And the fact that Jungle Juice is going to be rainbow spines, because volume 2 I got it for Christmas, and it is pink, and it is a bright pink, and I'm so happy. Right, okay. That was 1 volume out of 160. There might be some speedrunning. There's some of the ones, especially, I'm it's fine. Maybe we speedrun it. Right, next we have The Golden Sheep. So The Golden Sheep is a 3-volume series. It is about, sort of a coming of age. It's about 4 kids who have been friends since childhood, starting to go through their teenage years, and they kind of start to drift apart, kind of in 2 pairs. 2 of them sort of are maintaining that sort of happy, fun childhood attitude, and the other two are starting to take things a bit more seriously and kind of not wanting to do the kiddie, childy things that they used to when they were younger. So they kind of do start to sort of drift off, the two of them. I thought the main series was fine. I wasn't blown away. So the two, like, with like the childy, fun attitude, end up running away to try and... I can't even remember why they ran away. I was very confused. They end up working at a place selling food. I think they went to go live with family, but I wasn't that bothered. I think I did a buddy read with it. I think it was me and a couple of people in the Discord did a buddy read with it. And especially because it's only 3 volumes, and I'd had the volumes for quite a few years now. So I think the main series, even though I don't remember a huge amount of it, was fine. However, there is a there's a one-shot in the back. I hated it. I absolutely hated the one-shot. It's probably one of the few things I read last year where I genuinely hated it. But, I remember now, I think one of the people I did the buddy read with was Himika, and she really liked it because it's really, it's really, really sad, the one-shot, and she likes reading sad things because she likes to feel the emotions. I really, 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 really hated it. It's probably one of the most hated things I've read in manga. I think a part of that is just personal opinion. So for that, even though I thought the main series was fine, because of that one shot, I'm putting it in the bottom tier. I don't know if I can get across how much I disliked that last, like, one shot. And I do think it is potentially just me. But I'm gonna own that. I'm gonna own my dislike for that. Oh, I'm feeling so riled up. If anyone's interested in more opinions on that, shout at me in the Discord. I just... no, did not like... You enjoyed the one shot more than the main story. That's exactly what Himika said. And I just felt such rage reading it. Nah, not for me. It's one of the reasons, maybe that's one of the reasons I should avoid really sad things, because I just get angry. Really angry. It was really unfortunate because I read it over a lunch break and I went back to work in the afternoon and I was in such a foul mood. And, like, I had meetings. Thankfully, I don't think I had customer meetings, but it was internal meetings, and I was just, like, in such a bad mood to the point that someone was like, are you okay? I'm like, just don't talk to me. You joined here, you waited a one-shot. Which one was that? So there is a one-shot in the back of the final volume of Golden Sheep. And Golden Sheep is the 3-volume, but there is a one-shot at the end of volume 3, and I did not like it. But everyone else I've spoken to did. So I think that's me. But once again, my tier list. But yeah, I did not like that. Which might... Yeah. Right. Thank you for making Scifier haul videos. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so happy with how Scifier box their series. It's probably... I think Scifier boxing is some of the best packaging I've seen, especially with that. When I got my box set, I was astounded by the little squishy corner things. I still have them because I was really excited by them. Like, I kind of normally get rid of all the other packaging, but I've still got my stack of squishies on my shelf because I was just like, ooh. I think I went on quite a discussion about that in my Christmas haul video. Is that public? Yes, it is public. But yeah, just so surprised. I should place another Scifier order. I keep forgetting. You've only read volume 1 of Golden Sheep. So I so far have been the only one who didn't like it. So you might find it fine. You might find it really moving or something. I don't know. Right. Disobey the Duke if you dare. I had... Okay, we've got another one where I have strong opinions. We'll start going into some where I have lesser opinions, maybe. This is taking so long. This might have been a horrendous mistake. I should have started at noon. Or it's a two-parter. Don't know yet. Disobey the Duke if you dare. So this is the very first physical print by Manta, who are an app that publish webtoons. It was only available on Amazon US. You could have it you could ship it worldwide. They would ship it worldwide. You just had to pay shipping. The shipping wasn't actually horrendous. I think it was like £8.50. Not horrendous. £8.50 for one volume is still potentially too much in my eyes. And that was only the shipping. My volume did arrive damaged, and they gave me a full refund after I argued. So I ended up getting it for free, ultimately. It has got, like... what made me annoyed was the fact it's got like a rip on the spine, and it kind of goes into the pages. So you can, like, almost separate two halves of the book. So it did actually annoy me, especially with how much money I paid for it and shipping. And it came in the flimsiest envelope ever. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's just... yeah. I think just because of how much I ended up paying for it, it's definitely made me way more critical of it than I usually am with volumes. If I had not paid £23 for the volume, I'd have probably put it in B tier. I liked it. It was fine. I have potentially some issues around the relationship between the characters, and I'm very confused about how quickly they fell into bed together. It was just sort of, she turned up, he blindfolded her, and away they went. I was like, well, hang on. I do like my speedy smut, but maybe a little more setup, little more foreplay, getting to know each other, dinner. I don't know. And I actually just ended up getting a bit confused at a few points in the story, which didn't help my feelings for it, unfortunately, which is a shame, because again, I would have found it fine, or liked it, sorry. I would have liked it if it wasn't for all that. But because of all that, I am going to put it in C tier, if it'll let me. I'm going to put it in the C tier. It was fine. It was nice, smutty, hot guy, pretty lady. They wear nice dresses. Slightly smutty. Unfortunately, we fade to black. But I don't know. I feel like, I need to read more of the story, but there's literally no noise or anything about if or when there's going to be another volume. Because I do feel like Manta only did it to sort of prove that there's a demand for some of their series, and then they've kind of just gone quiet. Because apparently one of their other bigger series, is it Beneath the Oak Tree? Something Oak Tree? But that's been picked up by another publisher. Oh, shoot, what's it called? It's Inklaw. Inklaw, which is a new publisher as well from somewhere, has picked it up. So it's not even like they're going to be the one to publish the series themselves, which makes me question what is happening with this publisher and this imprint. This is a whole rant that has nothing to do with the series. I've just completely gone off on something. Oh, Geeky, Emma, how are you? Hello. I'm so sorry. How are you? How was your day? Are you well? Do you know how many volumes you read in 2023? What was your favourite new series read? Volume 1. Oh, messy hair. No, getting all heated up with I'm heating up. And I want just... I need a fan. Or someone to fan me. Whew. Right. Well, we've done 3. Excellent. It's going well. Really well. Right, next we have Batman, Justice Buster. So, actually what I'm going to do is, if I can find them, I'm going to rank all of the DC ones together. Move along here. So, I'm not quite sure what happened, or why it happened, but it was quite neat. There were 3 series, DC series that were published this year, all published by Kodansha in the small format. Think like, or small form Kodansha, Fairy Tale, Black Butler. I kind of like a regular volume size. They're all very, very, like, interesting. It was weird reading them because some of them felt like I was reading manga and some of them felt like I was reading a graphic novel. So Batman Justice Buster kind of just felt like I was reading a graphic novel. It was okay, but I don't think... I'm struggling to think now what happened besides it was a Batman story. I'm struggling to remember what happened. So I think for that, I'm going to have to put it in C, because it was fine. It was okay. But I wasn't blown enough away to remember the story, for one thing. And I did read all 3 back to back. Then I'll do Joker. So Joker was fighting Batman. Batman falls into a vat of something and turns into a baby. He is now a baby. And what Joker decides is he must raise this baby Batman so we can raise him back to be Justice Warrior Batman, because he can't not have Batman in his life. So it's kind of Joker's taken on baby Batman and is trying to raise him and be a dad. And there's even a part in the volume where he's trying to figure out how to enroll him into nursery, and I did quite like it. It was just a bit weird, but I liked it enough that I'm gonna put it in B tier. No, B tier. I did like it. It was just weird, which definitely made it more memorable for me. And then we have Superman Meshi. I really liked Superman Meshi. Superman Meshi was my favourite of the 3. Superman ends up like in Japan for a reason, and then he just starts eating. He stops by a Japanese restaurant and eats Japanese food and absolutely falls in love with it. And every chapter is just him finding a reason or going back to Japan to eat Japanese food and going to different places. And I mean, it's so nice looking at food in manga as is, and it just, with Superman, it was really weird but kind of fun because he was just so enthusiastic and happy about it. And there is a chapter where he goes with Batman. Oh, I loved that chapter a lot. That was like my favorite part of it, but for that reason, I loved it. It was so good. Gently Raised Beast and Remarried Empress. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well. So actually, I don't think Remarried Empress I read last year. Gently Raised Beast I did. Is it on here? It must be somewhere. Remarried. Yeah, there it is. So close to the top. But Remarried Empress. I absolutely loved Remarried Empress. I can't wait for Volume 6. I so can't wait for Volume 6. Volume 5. Oh, I wanna throw hands with... Oh, spoilers. Yeah, I loved it. Love it. See, this is what I mean. Easy Press is just... Right. Next we have Dangerous Convenience Store. Right. So, as there is another series we've not gotten to yet, but I have started to fall down a BL hole. No pun intended. And one of the series that has encouraged me to fall down this hole is Dangerous Convenience Store. I am quite surprised at how much I enjoyed Dangerous Convenience Store. Like, I remember sat at my desk and turning to Ben going, that was pretty damn good. And I'm not even, it was I feel like I have been indoctrinated into some form of juicy cult. To the point there is now a juicy emote in the Discord. I did attempt to buy juicy acrylics and failed. I did try. I don't know what it. I think again it's like the same with the series that won't be named just yet. It's the kind of dramatic relationship smut that I want from a series, and yeah, I just do. Is it? Do I put it in S tier? Or is it an A tier? Where would you put it? Would you put it in S tier or A tier? I've not actually said anything about what the story is. It's kid works in a convenience store and a big gruff man turns up and takes him away and they does things to him and calls him juicy. That's literally what happens. SD. Right, okay. There we go. Our first entry in S tier. Yeah. Volume 2 is out this month, isn't it? Actually, that was one of the reasons I've slightly held off on placing a Scifier order, is because so much Ise Press and Manhwa releases at the end of January. Like, Gently Raised Beast 5 has a release date of my birthday, and it's like, oh, that's excellent, but I'm not going to get it on my birthday. It's going to arrive like a week or two later, which is a shame. But I think I'm kind of waiting just because there's so much that releases later than the month, and I think one of them is Dangerous Convenience Store 2. Maybe I can put a bit more effort into finding an acrylic stand. Maybe I'll try that website I found earlier, and I spent a lot of money suddenly, quite quickly. Kings, what? Okay. Next series, Amy's Big Brother. So this is another series which Yen Press sent to me. It apparently is a follow-on volume to another one-shot series in that it follows the same characters, but they can be read independently. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't read any other volumes. I just based on that, basing that on something it said in the back of the volume. Ow. So it follows mostly these two characters. I don't know how easily you can see. Can I zoom in? There we go. Follows these two characters here, and this is Amy's big brother. And they're like high school students, secondary school students. They go to start a new school, and this guy, the brother of Amy, develops a crush on this girl, and through awkward teen moments, they start dating. But he is very much more into it than she is, and is quite he's quite what's the word? Pushy? Feels like wants to be with her all the time, and she doesn't want that, and it gets a bit awkward. And I think reading it, because I'm in my late 20s, I just don't think I'm the target audience for it, which made it a difficult, very uncomfortable read, to be fair. I think potentially if I'd read it in my teens or at the age, I might have enjoyed it more. But reading it now, I just found it a bit uncomfortable and awkward, and seeing the interactions between these like preteen, teen characters just weird. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. I don't think it was like, it wasn't like, did not like this. It was just like, This wasn't for me. I didn't like, wasn't my kind of thing. But I think there's been a bunch of yen, what do they call them? They're like JY. They're like for younger readers. Yen Press has started putting a bunch of them out. It's like a different logo, a different imprint, I assume. And that's one of the ones, it fell under that imprint. I would, if it wasn't all the way over there, I'd go and check. But it's all the way over there, and I'm a bit lazy. Actually, do I have a picture that I can check? Not quickly. But yeah, I think it's aimed not at my demographic, unfortunately. Yeah. Next we have Boys Abyss. So I did understand Boys Abyss was a bit odd before I went into it. And then it has so many questionable red flag issue problem stuff to it. I was kind of surprised by it. It's how do I even describe it? Backwater town. Kid wants to leave but can't because he's kind of stuck helping look after family members. Questionable interactions between him and teacher. So I've not read which one, what, how many volumes I've read? I think I've read 2 volumes of it. It is just like one thing after another, and it's just another weird. I think the only positive I have about it is I think the story is well written, in that I think it does. What happens isn't nice to read, and it's concerning and weird, but I think it flows nicely, in that I couldn't stop reading because I wanted to see what happens, but I'm not sure that necessarily says I enjoyed it. I think there's like 2 different parts to it, so I think I'm going to put it in D tier. But I still want to keep reading it. I don't think it's like an enjoyable read. I have to be in the right mindset. I think I do find sometimes with darker, more sad series that if I'm not in the right mindset, it messes me up mentally. So I find I struggle to rank darker, bleak series. I struggle to rank bleak series too highly, just because I tend to struggle to read them myself. But again, as I keep saying, that is just my personal opinion. That doesn't, it doesn't mean it's bad. Bleak doesn't equal bad. Correct. For me, I don't tend to enjoy it though, for that reason. So, though I do acknowledge that reading it is a good read, it's just not a pleasant read. That makes sense. Which almost, I have similar things to say about the next series, which is Just Friends. So I picked up Just Friends because Tokyo Pop have been printing lots of BLGL one-shots, and the spines are so pretty. Some of them are very pretty. Mostly, they've kind of gone out of their really bad spine days, which I'm so thankful for. And we've got some really nice, pretty spines, and I really like Spine and Just Friends, and it was one of the reasons I decided to pick it up. However, I didn't enjoy it that much. So Just Friends is a GL. It's about 2 girls who went to camp together, and it's them sort of meeting up again later in life when they're adults, and they kind of try and catch up every now and again. And it jumps back and forth between the present, them eating lunch, and the past, them at camp. I thought it was okay at first, but at first it felt a bit weird reading because it was like, it doesn't feel like I'm reading a manga, it feels like I'm reading a graphic novel. It turns out the mangaka, the artist, isn't, I can't remember, is it, I can't remember where they're from. It's not Japan. Which then does raise the question of, does it make it manga? That's not a debate I'm here for. I'm not bothered enough. Tokyo Pop advertised it as manga, which is hence, and it's found in manga sections. It's in the same sort of format as most manga is. So I'm not going to try and dispute that. But it does feel sometimes a bit weird jumping between series, because I primarily read manga and manhwa. But even manga and manhwa, reading those two, it definitely, you can see a difference. Where you can read a difference between like layouts and styles and flow of text and such. And so just jumping between something you're not expecting me can be a bit weird. There are also some implications about the characters already being in relationships by the time they meet as adults and still go off and do things together, which I didn't really enjoy. It's another one where I wasn't much of a fan. Wasn't my kind of thing. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't know sometimes if it's just me. You're like, oh, I didn't like that this happened, so I'm not a fan. Hey ho. We have not done very many. We have not done very many at all. Oh goodness gracious me. Right. Next we have Knight Captain and the Princess to Be. Yeah. So this series, actually I was having a talk with Liddy Moon about it because she read volume 1 a few days ago and she hated it. She really did not like it, and it's like to a point that it's made her think about being more careful about buying volume 1s. Or she already bought volume 2 and she wants to be more careful buying too many more volumes before reading volume 1. Anyway, I did vaguely like it, but would I call it good? No. However, some of the tropes I really like in series is very dramatic, shitty romance fantasy. But when I want drama and romance, I want kidnappings, assassination attempts, poisonings, wall bangs, going to war for your country kind of deal-a-rooney. I'm not interested in the sort of drama like didn't do the dishes. That's too boring for me. And Knight Captain did have all those kind of tropes, and I very much liked that it had all the tropes. The issue was that it had all of those tropes in volume 1. Like literally every other page something else dramatic was happening, and then it was resolved a page later. It was so rapid fire. It was crazy. So for that reason, even though I'm going to put it in B tier, I can't in good conscience recommend this series. It isn't good, but it's just the kind of thing, trash, that I enjoy. Which is, yeah. What also did not help in volume 1, only like half the volume is the main series. The other half of the volume is a couple of one-shots, or just completely random characters, that's it. And then it's like 10-15 pages for one shot, and then we got another one, and that's it. And there aren't any one-shots in volume 2. I don't know. I think it actually there might be another series, which we'll come to. There might be a reasoning for that, because I think one of the authors explained why it was the way it is in the back of the volume, but it wasn't this one, so we'll wait till we get to it. Oh, gosh. Anyone have any recommendations for throat soothing when you're talking a whole bunch? Though I'm not a fan of tea, which like ruins most of those suggestions. Yeah, so Knight Captain. Yep, I liked it. I wouldn't probably recommend. If you really are interested, if I've still managed to sell it to you somehow, buy it secondhand. Please don't buy in store. Though, I was quite surprised. I bought my volume 1 in Forbidden Planet London, and it's 7 Cs, and it was marked at $10.99. I was really surprised it was marked at $10.99, because, like, almost no 7 Cs has ever been marked at $10.99, so I felt like it was a slight mistake. But I took it anyway. I took that small victory. Just giving it to you now. Oh, the manga series. I was gonna say for a moment. I was like, but she's done what now? The manga series. Yes. You might like it, but just take everything I've said with a pinch of caution. Pinch of caution. Actually, something that Liddy mentioned that I do agree with is she is captain of the knights, yet so often she is made to put down her weaponry and the prince comes to save her instead. And it's like, she is a strong, powerful woman. I'm sure she's fine. She doesn't need him. And part of it is like, he's like, oh, I just want to protect you. And it's like, oh, not. Okay, fine. Oh, let's pick this one up today. Right, so, like, I think I've been quite negative, but I did still put it in B. Just, it's, yeah. It's also, I think, complete of 4 volumes, so it's not an intensely long series. Next, Illustrated Guide to Monster Girls. I do think I actually managed to read Volume 1 in October, because I felt like this might be, like, my limit of spooky. spooky. It is about just sort of a monster school. There's a bunch of monster girls that go to this school, all different types. The particular group of girls that we follow are in, like, I don't know, the remedial class, I guess. There are different types. There's a ghoul, there's a ghost, there's a vampire, there's a cyborg. They're all kind of just a bit shit. But I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's one of those series where you've just got a whole cast of, like, young, cute girls, kind of like Laid Back Camp, Bocchi the Rock, and not a huge amount really happened. There are actually a couple of slightly more gory bits than I expected, considering it's not plaster. I was surprised it's a Monster Girls. Why was I slightly surprised? So there were some slightly little bit more gory moments. Saying this as a person who is a sensitive wee bean, bear with me. I think it was okay. I think I did enjoy reading it, but it was, I think, episodic. I'm struggling to remember. I feel like if I'm struggling to remember, it generally means it's fine. There was nothing bad enough about it that made me go, ugh. But there's nothing amazing about it that made me go, if that makes sense. I mean, I'll still keep picking it up. I think I've already ordered Volume 2. And I think I enjoyed it. I really like the cover. Considering I don't like creepy or scary things, I really like the cover of this for some reason. And I really like the cover of Volume 2, which is like this, but with like a red background instead of an orange background. So, I don't know. Maybe this is one of the reasons that doing a tier list was a potentially terrible idea. As I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about this series. Anyway, let's tier list it. Oh dear me. Anyway, next. Blue Box. Now, everyone seems to love Blue Box. I don't quite get the hype on Blue Box. It was okay. It was fine. It's like a shonen rom-com, where themed around sports. I was going to say badminton, but I don't think she plays badminton. I think he plays badminton. She plays basketball. And he has a crush on her, and for reasons, she ends up moving into his family house. And they live together with his family as well. And it just is like teen awkward rom-com-ish. I've really not read very far on the series. Maybe it improves, it gets better. Is it longer-ish running? I think 7 or 8 has just come out in English, or 8 has just come out in English. But it's one that I was like, everyone loves it. I don't get it. Yeah, but I also don't think it's bad. Hence, it goes in the middle. But maybe it's just me-ish. So I do. So one of the reasons I have, like, we're definitely, in terms of the tier list, what am I trying to say? We have 7 tiers. No, we don't. We have 6 tiers. 4 of those are like I would call more positive, and we only really have 2 negative. But to be fair, looking at like a graph of how I do my ratings, generally my ratings are more skewed to about 7-ish, because I'm just very easily pleased. I say that, I'm very easily pleased. We have very so far established that is not the case. Well, there is more. There's a lot more here that I really liked, I swear. I swear. We've just not gotten to it yet. Right, next. Even dogs go to other worlds, and there is a subtitle, but I can't read it. It's an isekai, and the guy is isekai'd with his dog. That's about it, to be fair. In terms of an isekai, it is a very middle series. It's very bland. The guy is not that interesting. And would you believe it? As soon as they're isekai'd, he accidentally runs into this girl that's lost, and she's so pretty. And turns out she's a noble from the nearby village or something. And they let him in, and he can live with the nobles and be looked after and paid for and everything. It's like, what are the odds of that happening? Yeah. However, I really appreciate that he got to take his dog. If I could be isekai'd and my pets with me, that would be wonderful. And I did kind of enjoy that he had his dog with him. I think what did amuse me though is his dog in real life is like, I can't remember. I'm not really a dog person. I don't know dog breed names apart from like big one, little one. He is a little dinky dog. It's kind of fluffy, but it's a dinky dog. It's kind of curly hair-ish. And then it gets isekai'd into this wolf. And I don't know how he gets isekai'd. And he looks at this wolf and he's like, "You're my dog." And it's like, what? How do you know this? Or something like that. Yeah. So I'm not sure between C and B. Because it was not a good isekai. It was fine. It was a fine isekai. But I liked that he got to take his dog. So I think I might put it in B, just because I kind of like the whole. It could take your pet with you when you get isekai. That sounds wonderful. Just realised this is slightly bottom heavy, isn't it? It's almost a bell curve, but towards the negative, which is unusual. Okay, a Yashimon. So Yashimon is 3 volumes. It is the same mangaka as Hell's Paradise. I liked volume 1. I really liked volume 1. It's like sort of gang warfare-ish, different factions. And I thought it was just quite neat. And I really liked the premise. I liked the story. I liked the setup. I liked the characters. What I'm concerned about, and so I've only read my volume 1. What I'm concerned about is that it completes at 3 volumes. Was it cancelled? I think it was cancelled. So I'm slightly concerned that so far from volume 1, I'm going to put it in B tier. However, I'm concerned that reading more might. I just don't see how it's going to end well. How it's going to end in a way that I like it, considering I feel like volume 1 had all this setup and build up, and if you're using an entire volume to set up and build up, I expect you to at least run for like 10 volumes or so. So because it's so short, I don't see it being able to end in a way that makes me happy, basically. And that concerns me. But for now, only reading volume 1, I'm going to put it in B tier. That could potentially change when I read some more. But I haven't yet. It was cancelled? Yeah, I thought it was. There was quite a few. I think there's a few more on here that potentially got cancelled, which is a shame. I was quite surprised with how well Hell's Paradise did, that it got cancelled. Unless it gets really, really bad. Volume 1 was just like lulled me into a false sense of security. Right. Villainess turns the Hourglass. When people ask me what new releases are you excited for 2023, I would reply 2 series, one of which being Villainess turns the Hourglass. First off, can we just appreciate how pretty that cover is. That is a gorgeous cover. She is so pretty, the dress is pretty, her hair is pretty, the background is pretty. So I did already kind of go in almost going, I'm going to like this before I even read it. It's a Villainess. Very, very easily swayed. So it isn't an isekai. It is a back in time. She has done terrible things. She has been executed, and suddenly she's in her 10-year-old body. If you've read series like Abandoned Empress, are pretty much very similar, almost the same setup as Abandoned Empress. What else is there? I Swear I Won't Bother You Again. There's probably some others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a back in time, and she has this hourglass, and basically she's kind of been framed for a whole bunch of terrible things by her half-sister, I want to say. And she now is aware that her half-sister is going to try and make all of these terrible things happen and blame her, or sort of encourage her to do these terrible things, and she kind of stops that and tries to back away and just tries to not let her do that. However, what I like in this one is a lot of the times when they do this, what they do to try and ensure that they don't like get offed is they just try and seclude themselves and like, I'm going to join a nunnery. Seems a weirdly common thing for people to say. But in this one, what she decides to do is get revenge. And I quite like that. It gets a little dark, and yeah, I really, really liked it. I really, really, really liked it. This is probably going to be an S tier. I really liked it. Very much liked it. Absolutely. So pretty. I can't wait for volume 2. It's still a way off though. I think we've got a way to go until volume 2. But I very liked it. Very liked it. Yes. Much like, good like, much like, loved. Right. Next. We've still not done that many. Next we have Bocchi the Rock. Another series that Yempra sent me, so I was very, very excited to read Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock has so much hype to it. I see so many people talk about it. The anime does amazingly well. Lots and lots of people love Bocchi the Rock. Hyped it up incredibly, incredibly so. I heard that there was like, the mangaka was at a con in Japan and got swarmed so much they had to move her signing desk out to like the car park or something. I don't know if that's true or if it was a woman. I can't remember. Anywho, big series. So I went into reading it super hyped, super looking forward to it, and I didn't like it. I feel kind of bad almost that I didn't like it. I just found it really hard to get through. I found it a bit confusing. A lot of the characters, once again, all young-looking girls, and they all look very similar in manga, and I know they all have brightly coloured hair, but you can't see that in manga, it's all just black and white. So there were points where I couldn't tell who was saying what, and that confused me. It's also 4-koma, which I didn't realise at all before I started reading it. It's not to say 4-koma's bad, there is 4-koma that I do enjoy. I don't think it helped the flow of the story, because it made it a bit stuttery, especially as I was already very confused on who was who. And also, it being a music manga, in general I find music manga is just harder to get into as is, because you can't hear the music. So it's probably... So when you get like... There's like a big moment towards the end of volume 1 where the band is playing, and they start to struggle, and it's fine because she like just jams out on her guitar, and it's like, cool, go you. I don't know, I think by that point I was already a bit sad and annoyed about what I was feeling for the series, so I kind of was like just a bit grumpy grumpy at that point, which is such a shame considering how much love the series gets, and I was just so surprised that I felt that way. I feel like personally I would say if you do want to read it, try watching the anime instead maybe, because you'll have the audio and you'd be able to see different hair colours between the girls. Or maybe again that's just a me issue, but I'm unfortunately going to put it in D tier because I just struggled with it. I think it got better by the end. I think by the last chapter or so, last few pages, I did start to enjoy it a bit more, but like by that point I was like in a huff, and it took me like 5 days to read it. I was like reading a few pages and then I'd go read something else and then I'd come back to it, and I just, yeah. Anywho, next we have Lord Hades' Ruthless Marriage, another one from Yen Press. So at first I thought this was going to be like under the like Hades, Persephone, Deal Rooney, and it isn't quite. So Hades has been struck with an arrow of love. Is it Eros that struck him with the arrow? And it says the first person that you see, you're going to fall madly in love with. And so he starts wearing a blindfold. He's like, I'm not looking at anyone. No one look at me. Sort of thing. He then retires to his quarters, to which a girl ends up falling down just as he's taking his blindfold off, and he looks at her, and the arrow goes away. But he's like, I don't feel anything. Well, I did say anyone who could remove the arrow, I will grant whatever they desire. And she says, I desire for you to find a, what's the word? I was going to say courtesan. That's not the, I don't think that's the word I mean. A partner. Find yourself a partner. And then the rest of the volume 1 at least, has been like a different goddess turning up about we should get married and why we should get married, or trying to find someone for him to marry. And it was kind of fun and silly. I liked the silliness, and I very much enjoy reading about gods and such. So reading about all the gods in this was really fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know how much further it's going to go on for, and there's like, yeah, I did quite like it. Wasn't like outstanding. So it goes in A. No, it goes in B. It goes in B. I was looking at B going, it goes in B, and then I said A. It goes in B. I liked it. But yeah. Right. Next we have Mr. Villain's Day Off. I am so mad about this series for one reason, in that I really liked it. I really liked Mr. Villain's Day Off. My favourite animals are pandas and red pandas, and so far in volume 1 we see a lot of pandas. It's about a villain and what he does on his days off. And he goes to the zoo a lot, and he does just regular little things. He loves pandas himself. He gets buys panda merch. It's great. It's lovely. It's adorable. Unfortunately, Square Enix volumes are like piddly thin, and they are RP at like $14.99. So you get piddly volume for $14.99, and I just, as much as I really liked it, I can't justify spending that amount of money. So I am going to put it in A tier. I really loved it. It was a lovely, calming, peaceful slice of life read. Am I rushing to pick more up? No. I am waiting to see it on sale. I'm waiting to see it discounted. I don't really care. Secondhand. But I can't pay $14.99. Okay, 3 for 2 price. £10. 3 for 2 on a $14.99 is £10 for a volume that is this thin that I'll read in 5 minutes. Some Square Enix, I don't know what's happened. Like, even My Dress Up Darling, which is like double the width, is $14.99. I want volume 2 of Villain's Day Off and the other one, Ice Sky, really badly, but I can't justify it. Where is it? We'll do that one as well, actually. Here. Ice Sky and Cool Girl. Honestly, also an A tier. Also really liked. About a guy with icy, frozen powers who, what's the word? It is able to produce ice and snow. And it sort of exasperates when his emotions are higher. Like, he's nervous, or he's like feeling romantic or whatever, and he gains a crush on his colleague, who is the cool girl, who's like just super cool. She's not like, yeah, she's just super cool, and it's lovely. Both these series were just lovely to read, which makes it all the more painful at how expensive they are. I can't buy them new or even in the 3 for 2 price. I'm waiting. I would recommend just be very careful about the sort of prices you're paying. I'm almost mad. I almost want to move them to the angry tier because of prices, in which Disobey the Duke If You Dare can also go. But in terms of just story content, I love them both. I love both of them. I love pandas, desperately love pandas, red pandas. I have a collection of red panda plushies. They're all called Bruce. I have a panda plushie from when I was a baby, and which makes it just so much worse. As well as, like, my friend who reads manga, and he was messaging me series that he thought I might enjoy, and he was like, oh, I'm reading this one. And he sent me a picture, and it was Mr. Phil's Day Off with a panda, and I was like, you're killing me. You're actually killing me. Damn. So mad. So, like, I loved him, but I'm mad at him. If that makes sense. Okay, next. I Can't Refuse S. This is another new Steamship title from Steamship. This is another new Steamship title this year. How to describe it? I'm trying to get comfy first. Can I get my legs on my chair? Ooh, right, so I Can't Refuse S is a Steamship title, as I've said like 4 times now. This girl, she needs to make some money. She decides to become a special woman for a rich guy who is apparently known for it, I think, or work for him, maid or something. I can't fully remember. And she's trying to convince his butler that she is good for the job. And the butler is like, no, you're not. You're too awkward and shy to do any of this stuff that you would need to do. And she's like, no, I can do it. I am very comfortable doing all of the sexual things. And he's like, yeah, okay, prove it. Take your clothes off. And she's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And the whole volume is her going, hire me, I can do it. And he's like, prove it. And she gets really uncomfortable. You know what? That actually might be a summary of the series. So far, probably one of my lesser liked Steamship titles, unfortunately. It's just nothing happened. Nothing happened apart from just her being uncomfortable and she's like, I need the money, and he's like, no, this isn't a job you can do or you want to do. And she's like, yes, I do. And I'm like, meh. Right, next we have Gently Raised Beast. So, Gently Raised Beast, Yempra sent me volume 2 of Gently Raised Beast, and at this point I had not yet read my volume 1, and I was like, as I said earlier, they sent me something for free, I need to read it. I should really read it. So I read both my volume 1 and 2, and I actually read them both in the same day, which I usually find more difficult when I'm reading manhwas, because they're a lot more chunky, and it just takes me a lot longer to go through them. So for me to read 2 in one day, I was very surprised at myself. I really liked it. I very much liked it. A lot. I liked it. Gently Raised Beast is about a character called Blondina, who is blonde, and is discovered to be the long-lost princess of the current king emperor from a previous relationship. Unfortunately, her mother's passed away and she's living in a terrible place where she's treated terribly, but she's tracked down and brought to the palace and is now treated like a princess. However, her half-siblings don't like her, and a lot of people don't like her, and she's a bit confused about what's happening, and like, what does this mean for me? Yeah. And then she's out in the gardens and runs into a black cat and sort of saves, I think, the black cat from something. It turns out it's like a special black cat, and they become friends. Turns out the cat might also be able to turn into a human and is part of the, like, beast folk that the humans had been at war at, and they're trying to maintain peace together. Yeah, and there is more to the story. Volume 4 was excellent, and I can't wait for Volume 5. Volume 4 ended on quite a very rude cliffhanger, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So very, very, very much enjoyed it a lot. I loved it, and I am going to put it in S tier. I will fight for this series, and I did contemplate buying some special editions of it. I didn't. I was very good. I only bought special editions of like 3 other things instead. Right. Next we have Cat Massage Therapy. This is 3 volumes. It is full color. I think a very important thing to highlight about this series is on the cover of the volumes, the toe beans are raised. You can rub over the toe beans and you can feel the toe beans, and I feel like that's just such an important feature that everyone needs to know about, because toe beans. It is chill, calm, slice of life. It's about cats that run a massage parlor, and people, like office workers, go to the massage parlor and the cats massage them and de-stress. And that's pretty much it, to be fair. There's nothing really serious or hardcore about it. It's just calm. It's only 3 volumes, which I think is a good thing. I think if you like cats, especially like animals in general, it's so calming. And you can touch the beans while you're reading, which very much helps. Or if you have a cat on your lap while you're reading, that also very much helps. It's lovely. I think it's amazing? No. But I still loved it. I very much loved it. A lot. I would recommend. It seems to pop up secondhand or in sales sections a lot from my experience, so I would say if you're interested, do that, because they are actually quite thin volumes. Can I find mine? All the way up there. They are quite thin volumes, but they are full color, which is why they're usually a bit more pricey. But I would put, unless you like really want to read a wholesome cat read, I would hold off and buy it cheap. To be fair, always hold off and try and buy it cheap if you can. But especially if I feel like especially so if I say wait for it to be cheap. Especially so. Right. Like a Butterfly, Volume 1. They're all Volume 1s. Like a Butterfly. This is a high school romance. It is by the same manga as Sign of Affection and Short Cake Cake. What makes this one a little bit more different is both characters are fairly introverted and they're fairly quiet and a bit awkward. Yeah, I have only read the first one. I think so far, I think I liked it. I liked reading about 2 awkward people trying to date. But I want to read more. I think that's a tentative there. It'd probably go between B and C momentarily, maybe a B minus. I as an introverted person, as a person at school that would frequently go weeks without saying a word to anyone, I did kind of like finally reading about 2 awkward people trying to romance each other. But it was just, I don't remember much of what happened beyond like the setup. Has been a little while since I read it though, I guess. Right. Next we have Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor, also given to me by Empress. Right, okay. I liked it. However, there are some odd points to it. It is another Back in Time where, as in a few others, she is Actually, I was gonna say she's like, a lot of the others tend to be put like off with her head kind of dealeroonie, but this one she is like chased down by an army of guards and such, and ends up leaping off a building or something, and she wakes up in her 10-year-old body. and now she's trying to prevent the weird war that happened later on in her life. So when she dies, when she's older, I think she's like 16, and she goes back 6 years to her 10-year-old body. There are some red flags, any questionable things in that series, including, I don't want to say too much because it's like kind of spoiler-y. I don't know. She's right. Maybe I need to backtrack. I think I need to backtrack a little bit. Where have we gone? She's gone back in time. She wants to prevent the war, and one of the things she wants to prevent is the person that actually ultimately ends up trying to kill her is her then fiance, and she goes back to the night where he initially proposes to her. And she's like, right, well, I'm just going to avoid him and just say no. Unfortunately, he is like the prince. How do you just say no to the prince? So she is just like continuously trying to avoid him. And then eventually he finds her and he's like, why can't we get married? Why can't we get engaged? And she's like, I'm married to him. And then just grabs the guy next to her. And he's like, yeah, okay, why not? And it turns out it's the emperor of the country that before she went back in time, they'd gone to war with. And she's like, well, shit, what have I done? So he ends up like, right, let's go back to my country then. And she's like, okay. And he treats her really nicely. It's kind of really cute. The relationship's kind of cute. But then you kind of realize that the ages of the characters, she, as I have said, is 10. He, I think, is 18. So I'm hoping that like internally, like her soul, as they've said, is like 16 years old. I'm hoping that she's going to sort of do a rapid age up in some kind of way, because then I'll be really happy with the series, apart from the other weird bits. But in terms of the relationship between these two characters, I would be disappointed if she gets left at 10 and he gets left at 18. Because that's a bit gross. Unless there is not a romantic relationship for a while. I don't know. I can't decide, because I really liked it apart from that. Apart from that one bit. I think for now, I want to put it in B. With the caveat that I hope something happens to change the ages, make the ages a bit more tolerable, I suppose. Right. Dragon King's Imperial Wrath. This, I read somewhere that it completed at 3 volumes. I don't know if that's true, because I saw differing things depending on where I looked. It's about, what's the word? It's like the Chinese zodiac, where there's like all the different animals and the dragons sort of rule, and they're trying to find the dragon a partner, princess, queen. So they've got on a princess from all the different tribes, and they've all come to the dragon palace, and he's going to try and pick out a girl to be his wife, partner. And he ends up picking the girl from the Rat Clan, which is highly unusual and unexpected. Yeah, I think it's okay. There was some drama towards the end of Volume 2, which helped, but otherwise, I think so far it's fine. It's another expensive series, which really does not help, because it's like $13.99 maybe, or like $14.99, because it's a big 7 Seas volume, and that also makes it a little harder to enjoy as much, but it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. Then we have Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch. Now this is really, 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 really new, and I got it in London in December. I really enjoyed it. It's cute. It's kind of an isekai. The cat has been isekai'd to this world to live with the witch, and the cat is adorable. And there was a bit with the cat. Oh, the cat! I love the cat. Oh, so good. So this witch, she's not always been the witch. She was one of the people who helped save the world. She helped defeat the demon king lord thing. She was like worshipped. And then through a series of events, she kind of became orchestrated and shunned from society. And now people know her as the witch. Now they don't realize that she is the person, I think. I don't think they realize that she is the person that helped defeat the Demon Lord. But she's now just like the creepy witch who lives on the edge of the village. And she tries to summon, like, a beast to help look after her, or, like, help protect her. And she ends up summoning this cat. So it's meant to be, like, just a regular cat on Earth. Regular-sized cat. But for some reason, when it's being isekai'd, it's massive. Massive now. And it's adorable. It's adorable. Could you imagine if you had a cat? An adorable cat that massive? If I could imagine Yuna being that massive, the shit cushion of a cat, that would be adorable. It would be terrifying though, when she, like, sometimes she'll, like, grab my hand and hold it to her face. Imagine if she does that with my whole person. Oh, that would be terrifying. Right, where was I? I got very distracted. Yes, so I liked this one. I liked this one. It was cute. I also really like the cover. The cover's really pretty, especially that minty green. Yes. Yes, please. Right. Dungeon Friends Forever. This one's weird. This one is it's not an isekai, it's just sort of a fantasy. There's dungeons, and these two are childhood friends. A guy who's now an adventurer, and a girl who now is, like, the final boss in a dungeon. And it's really cute. It's okay. It's not exemplary. It's really, really cute and adorable. But again, I wouldn't call it outstanding. I'm not sure I'd recommend it. It's the sort of thing you're going to find secondhand, or you'll find in a sale section for $4.99. So, yeah, it's okay. That's kind of the premise. There's, like, some of them are trying to hide the relationship, some of them are not trying to hide the relationship. All her, like, underlings are trying to match them up, but he's very oblivious, and she has the feelings, but is kind of oblivious about her feelings. It's, yeah. Right. Okay, next we have Tower of God. Tower of God. Now, another series where I went in with very high expectations. I very much expected amazing things from the series. Lots of people loved it. I knew it had an anime. The anime was very much hyped and loved. I wasn't much of a fan. I'm so sorry. I have been told, though, because I've only read my volume 1, I have been told it does get better. And also the art style improves. I wasn't much of a fan, though. I'm so sorry if you were a fan. I don't know why. Because normally I really like this sort of fantasy, fighty, sort of climbing up the tower sort of series. But there was just something about it that I just couldn't get into. And I don't know why. But I am hoping that it gets better the further in you get. Because a lot of people do love it. A lot of people do love it. So I'm hoping that one is kind of just me. It's kind of just me. Right. A Condition Called Love. I was very surprised that this series seems to have a lot of controversy. A lot of people have very differing opinions on it. Which, yeah, surprised me. A Condition Called Love is a high school romance between the two characters, as you can see on the cover. The female character is very much not experienced in romance. She's not really done it before. She doesn't really know what it's like. Her friends have had romances, and she's experienced it through them, I guess. And the guy has been in relationships, but they tend to keep ending. And he just wants to try and find a more longer-term happy romance with someone that also loves him back as much as he loves them. So yeah, a lot of people seem quite mixed on this one. I Really like it. I love it. I love Condition Called Love. I really like the dynamic between the two of them. I don't know why I've enjoyed it as much as I have done, but I really have enjoyed Condition Called Love a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. With, like, Lovesick Ellie ending and Imakoi also wrapping up now. Condition Called Love is probably now going to be my favourite ongoing high school romance. I think a lot of the issues is, yeah, the male lead is, some of his actions are questionable. I feel like for a high school guy in a relationship they're quite happy with, I don't know, maybe it's just I've seen questionable men around my boys during my secondary school days, but it didn't feel that crazy, like waiting for each other. Some of the there's 1 or 2 points later on, but I feel like both of them have had like that's not okay kind of moments. But I feel like it's almost weirder in a relationship. I feel like they need a good, especially when you're younger, having good communication and being like, no, like this, or do this, or this, meh, 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 meh. Either way, it's, for me, as an A tier, I like Condition Called Love, and I've remembered that I have my volume 5 to read, and that makes me quite excited. Where is my volume 5? It might be on the floor. I haven't put any of my Christmas manga away. I've been trying to hold off till I get the rest of my collection filmed, and I'm so close to finishing that, and then I can put it all away. Put it all away. We have not really tier listed that many, and we are almost at 2 hours. You know how at the beginning I was like, it doesn't look that many, does it? I take all of that back. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish all this. I don't know if we do, like, another stream to wrap it all up, or I just die. We just keep going. I'm not allowed to stop until I get to the end. Yeah, maybe we do a follow-up one. Let's see how many we can get through first. Next we have Glitch, another one sent to me by Yempress. Honestly, like, the amount of Villainess, manhwa, and isekai the Empress put out and then send to me, I am just so beyond grateful. It's so makes me so happy. Right, anywho, Glitch. So Glitch, it does vaguely remind me a little bit of like Summertime Rendering, in that it's a small town with a weird creepy mystery. It was okay. I don't think it was just my kind of thing, to be fair. It's about I think a parent and 2 kids, one's older than and one's younger, and there's just weird, as the title says, glitches that are like happening in this village, and they decide to try and investigate what these glitches are. A lot of the people who have been longer residents kind of just accept and live with the glitches, and these kids decide to try and figure it out themselves what it is. So it's kind of just sort of a mystery-ish. I think it was okay. I don't think I enjoyed the trying to compare it to Summertime Rendering. I don't think I found it as like compelling to begin with as Summertime Rendering, though they are vaguely different still. It's just I'm trying to like compare it to a vaguely slightly similar-ish setup in to try and get across what it's like. So I think I'm gonna put it in. It was fine. It was okay. I wasn't blown away with it. I know Volume 2 is out, but I'm not rushing to grab it just yet. I might wait to see it on sale. It was okay. I think it's a series that other people would really enjoy. I do think it's a series that it's because it's my opinion that is putting it there, not because it's bad. If that makes sense. So I really hope that what I've said about it hasn't necessarily put you off. It just wasn't for me. It's just not my kind of thing. But it might be for you if you do like that kind of thing. Is what I think I was ultimately trying to get at with Have I wibbled on enough? Right. What was I saying? Next, I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire. This is an isekai. It was... What was it? I think it was okay. Is it another one that'll go in fine? It is about a guy... It's quite interesting, the isekais, where they kind of try to focus a lot on, like, a political element, building up governments, improving general, like, life for people, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. However, there was, like, a really weird bit. I felt like they were really trying to push the fact that on this world, even though he has the body of a 16-year-old, he's actually 60 years old. And it's the same for the girls. And it just felt like they were really trying to push that, yeah, he looks young, but it's fine, because he's in the body of a 6,000-year-old demon. It's, oh no, please don't do that. And they, like, were really trying to emphasize the, he has a maid, her, assets. They kept really mentioning, showing them off, which was a bit weird. And I've read a lot of weird isekai that with, like, bland, generic male characters. That even I was like, why? Can you stop? What's interesting though is Ben has read the light novel, and he was like, yeah, they don't really emphasize anything about the looks of them, just more about, like, his political movements. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Unless Ben completely glossed over it because he's a filthy degenerate. Sorry, Ben. Ow. Ow. Something in my eye. If Ben is here, maybe Ben's gone to bed. Or is just playing a game or something. So I think, I did enjoy, like, the political stuff. I think I'm going to put it in fine. But it's probably like a C-ish. I mean, I don't think I disliked it. It was just like, ugh, why? Why would you? Oh, you don't have to. Fine. Fine. Okay. Next we have my poison princess is still cute. I didn't know anything about this one until Yemper sent it to me. And, you know, I was very, very much surprised. I loved it. I really loved it. It's absolutely super adorable. It is about a war, a feud that's been going on between two countries, two races, something, and to try and end the war, they end up getting the princess to marry, I think, like, Captain of the Knights or a human. Unfortunately, the princess has a problem where she emits poison and it kills humans being around her when she's emitting the poison. And one of the reasons that causes her to emit the poison is just, again, emotions. That seems to be quite a common thing, isn't it? Intense emotions cause her to emit the poison, which would potentially be a problem for her new human husband. However, he has the ability in that he is immortal. He can't die. Well, actually, no, that's not quite true. He does die, but he's reborn, like, nearby. I think what happens is he gets reborn in the nearest set of clothes, is I think what happens, which does lead to situations where sometimes he's reborn in, like, a mascot costume. It's very bizarre, but it is actually remarkably wholesome and cute and really adorable. So I would recommend. It is, I think, full coma, and I think this is one of the situations where I think the full coma works, and I liked it. And it helped that I was quite surprised by how much I liked it, going in as blindly and randomly as I did, because I hadn't even twigged about this series at all in the slightest till they sent it to me. But I liked it a lot. I loved it. Careful of my phrasing, because now I have, like, different tiers. So it goes in A tier, especially being so as surprised by it as I was. Do recommend that one. I like that one. Imagine ranking all the isekai. Could you imagine me just ranking everything that I've ever read? That would kill me. that would be a full day stream or a week of streams. That would take a long time. All the isekai be A's or E's. You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Isekai is either amazing or absolute trash. There is nowhere in between. Right. Business proposal, and actually, where is it? There's another series we're going to rank alongside it. It's all the way at the bottom. Come here. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? Now, both of these series I find, and I assume other people might find, are very, very similar. They have quite kind of a similarist premise. Office, set in an office where they both work for a handsome, broody guy who they end up vaguely with some romance going on between them. The main difference being business proposal is she is set up for a blind date, pretending to be a friend so a friend can get out of it, and then they end up kind of hitting off. And Secretary Kim, she is the secretary of angry businessman, and she decides to resign to go and do some other things, and he's like, you cannot leave me. I think they're quite similar. I hadn't realised like how prominent of a trope it was in K-dramas, because that's just not something I'm really like aware of all that much. So I hadn't realised like how like big of a thing it was. I think, having read 2 volumes of each, I think I do enjoy What's Wrong with Secretary Kim more than Business Proposal. But again, that's not to say I don't like Business Proposal, just in terms of the two having very similar tropes, I think I've enjoyed it more in Secretary Kim over Business Proposal. But again, that's not to say I don't like Business Proposal. I very much do. I like them both. I've enjoyed a lot of manhwa this year. There is a lot of manhwa on this list, isn't there? But I think do I then put them at the same tier? Do they go on the same tier? What's Wrong with Secretary Kim go higher? I don't think they're S tiers. I think they're probably both A tiers. However, does anyone know yet? I keep asking the question. I don't think anyone knows. And how do they decide if a manhwa is under the Ise Press imprint or just the Empress imprint? Because Business Proposal is Ise Press, whereas Secretary Kim is just Yempress, like vanilla Yempress. I wonder how they decide. I'd love to know how they decide. Just because, like, it's a question that's niggling in my brain. I'd love to know the answer to it. I have such an itchy nose. Why do I have such an itchy nose? Next. Me and my beast boss. Another one. We'll have tranches of, like, good and bad. Don't worry. But I'm probably going to generally have more good than bad. Because I'm a positive little bean. Beans! Right, me and my beast boss. I love me and my beast boss. It is set in a society where beast folk are kind of seen on top and humans are like trash. And this woman is doing her best to try and get recognized for the hard work that she does, and she puts in a lot of effort. And the CEO of this company decides that he wants someone who works as hard as she does working for him. And he ends up hiring her to be his secretary. And it's so adorable. And he kind of has a little crush on her. And it's good. It's good. It's lovely. They are like anthropomorphic animals, which might put some people off, but I loved it. I was reading it and I was like, why do I love this so much? I hope it doesn't awaken something in me. But you know what? I don't care. I really, really loved it. A lot. Would recommend, but I would also say I recommend this series with anthropomorphic. I think anthropomorphic's the right word. Or I'm just completely using a word that makes no sense. Human-esque animals. Oh, really loved it. I don't know if I'd put it S tier. Actually, you know what? I'm putting it S tier. I loved it. I really, 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 really did love it a lot. And there is only 2 volumes out, unfortunately. There is no more volumes out in Japan either. So if and when we get volume 3 of it, it's going to be a way down the line, unfortunately. We have we have a way to go until we get another one. Which is a shame, because it was like kind of a semi cliffhanger at the end of 2. So annoying. Anywho, Honey Trap Shared House. This I thought it was a bit shit. I didn't think it was very good at all. It is a plaster up series. It is spy themed, loosely, if you squint. I feel like the kind of plot is meant to be there's a war going on, but the war's more like happening between spies and stuff. It's about sharing information is sort of the big part of the war over like fighting, I think. And different spies from different factions of different parts of the war end up kind of living in a house, and they're trying to seduce each other to steal information. Though I feel like that as the plot is almost being a bit too kind. I feel like it was just a bit shit. It was just a bit awful. Oh my god, it really was. I think I might put it in E tier. I didn't hate it. I'm not sure didn't like was like I read it going whereas I read this and was like, oh, for God's sake, is that actually a series? I did not think it was very good. It is a very much plot. What plot? There is a literal scene where, to try and seduce the guy, she puts plasters on and nothing else. So like plaster, 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 and that's it. And she walks in the room going, "Oh no, what's happened?" What am I reading? Yeah. Not very good, that one. Anywho, next we have that's not got the English title on it. Something I'm training this girl in a path of a course of naughtiness, something like that. I'm training her to be naughty. Do I have? I can't quite read the volume from here. Yeah. So okay, this guy lives in sort of a mansion-ish on his own. He's earned a bunch of money. He's now he's living on his own. He's good. This girl he runs into on his land, and sort of takes her in. After some guards turn up to try and kidnap her, take her away, and he's like, no, it's fine. You didn't see nothing, and takes her inside. It turns out that she has been accused of doing some appalling, terrible crimes, and she says, yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't do any of it. She's been framed for it, basically. And it turns out she's been treated appallingly by her family. She's treated like a living maid. She's not really given enough food. She's not given any free time. She is just treated absolutely terribly. And he's like, he's like, I'm gonna look after you. I'm going to make sure you live a nice life. I'm going to teach you to be naughty. But in terms of being naughty, it's like having a slice of cake after tea. And she's like, but you can't have sweet things after you've eaten, that sort of deal. And so it's absolutely adorable. It's cute. It's very lovely. It's not particularly serious at all. It's just very, very nice and wholesome and cute and lovely, and I would recommend, and I loved it. We're gonna put more in A tier. I was like, is A tier gonna fill up that much? We have so many down here, and yeah, it's now this the more full one. Okay, so let me just. I'm not sure at the moment how much further on I can go. My throat is dying, and I have had a horrendous headache all day, unfortunately. So I am up for what do people think? Are people enjoying this, and would you be up if I did another live stream of this at some point, and we just keep going at some point? Because how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4. 38. Oh, we've done 38 of 160. Actually, if we do 2 more, then we'll be a quarter of the way through. Is this really going to take 4 streams? We'll do 2 more. Right. Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. There's been a few series that have popped up like this series, which is kind of, I'm not even sure if it's like high school. They seem too young to be high school. I almost place them at like 12, 13, 14 at a push, which is like kind of awkward romance. Kind of Cuba Won't Let Me Be Invisible is another one that's quite similar. Sort of an awkward, cute romance between them where they are very close and they spend time together, and they kind of are a little awkward with each other, but they're very close, and it's just really adorable, and I really, really liked it. I'm probably going to put it under B. I did like it. Unfortunately, with this series, it is what's the publisher? It's Square Enix. It's always Square Enix. Square Enix, it's a bit more pricey, so it's just, I like it, but it's a bit more pricey to get into. So picking up volumes can be a bit of a pain. Sometimes they seem to pop up cheap, but not often. So they're quite thin volumes, and they're usually about $12.99. So I would say definitely potentially try it if you see it on sale, but all secondhand. But it's a nice, cute, wholesome, happy read. It's okay. I liked it. What am I saying? It's okay. I liked it. What am I chatting? Anyway, next is Cinderella Closet. So I actually don't remember much about Cinderella Closet, and I feel a bit bad about that, because I think I liked it, but I think I read it quite early in the year, and now I'm struggling to remember much about it. I think it's about a girl who is a bit more plain, and she wants to try and make herself look and feel more pretty, and trying to buy makeup, and meets a person in the makeup aisle and tries to get their help and such, and then they sort of establish a cute relationship. It's been so long now. I'm struggling. I think it's another I liked it. I think that's where I'm going to put it. Oh, I'm looking at all these series and I'm like, I have so much to say about some of these series, but I do think I need to stop at this point, just because I've been a bit not feeling great today, but I still really wanted to do the stream, and I think I am going to just, I'll randomly do a couple of streams, like, I don't know, midweek, because I also want to do my birthday one, which is in a couple of weeks, so ideally trying to get the whole tier list done by then would be great, even if we have to break it up in a few random streams in the next couple of weeks or so, I guess. Ben, thank you for dropping subscriptions so much. If you are interested in subscribing, my memberships, it is 99p, and you gain early access to all of my videos, and I'm really trying to gun along the best I can with getting all of my collection taught up. I think I can't remember what's currently up for members at the moment, but I have uploaded part 9, I've almost finished editing part 10, and I filmed part 11. And I have a few more parts to film. And then I also have my December haul. I'm gonna do a house tour. I'm gonna do a house tour, but I need to clean the house before I do a house tour. Manga reorganization, horror film videos. I have so many videos. I just need to get through filming them all, basically. Ooh, what's this? There's a random button that's appeared. Ooh, I can gift free memberships. Ooh. can I do that? Let's click that button. There we go. I can give some free memberships. YouTube's a bit weird. So on Twitch, to receive a membership, you don't have to do anything, but to receive a membership on YouTube, you have to opt in. By default, you are not opted in to receive a free membership. Don't know why it is that way round. Twitch, you don't opt in, but YouTube, you have to opt in. It is. So, yes. So I think the current plan is, so I don't die and I can go have a lie down, is we will do some more of these. So keep an eye out. I will give at least a day or so notice before I do another one. And I think we just do a couple of sessions maybe to get through all this. I'll try and take a screenshot so we can resume everything is still on place and we don't lose it, because I think this is just like as soon as I close the tab it'll go, or maybe I try and not close the tab and just leave it. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. I hope everyone else has enjoyed it. It's always fun to chat shit about manga. I hope I've not upset anyone with some of my opinions, or you think less of me because of some of my opinions, some of my questionable pleasures, enjoyments, that sort of deal, really. Yes, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry we didn't get through we got not even half of it. We got through a quarter of it. Thank you for joining. Remember to join the Discord if you haven't already, because I'll definitely post more up-to-date stuff in the Discord about what's happening and all that, and planning, and also you can just shout at me about some of my terrible takes there, and I may or may not listen. Yes, everyone, thank you. Have a most wonderful day, weekend, evening, bedtime, whatever time of the day it is, and I will see you next time. Bye, 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 bye. I didn't even show the cats. Next time. I'll show the cats next time. Bye. I think.